What's up, everybody? It's the Boxing Source, and yes, that's right. We are here live with Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields.
The Boxing Source proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.
Yes, that is right. We are here, and this is the debut of Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields on the Boxing Source YouTube channel. Of course, I wouldn't be able to do it without my guy, my mentor here in this media game, of course, with Mr. Warwick Boxing himself, Mr. Joseph Heron. How you doing there, Joseph?
Woo! I tell you what, my favorite time of the week, 7 p.m. Central, with you and this next gentleman. And I have to tell you, James, I'm a little jealous. I think your entrance music for this next gentleman is better than all of my intros. Darren, who made that song, by the way? The Commodores?
I don't know. Maybe it was the Commodores or the Four Tops or something. I don't know.
Will the Commodores be mentioned in this edition of Rapid Fire Q&A?
Okay. I don't know. But we have to check in with the legendary, the great trainer himself, Mr. Ronnie Shields. How you doing there, Ronnie?
Oh man, doing great. Another night.
Man, it's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, we got a lot here to cover. You know what I mean? We try to get through these things here as quickly as possible. To get what your responses are to these things here. So, brother Joe, are you ready? Are you ready?
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
All right. There you go, man. So, hey.
Dude, we just did that in real time. Didn't even sound like me either, man. And there you go, James. I'm sorry, brother. As you were, sir.
Yeah. Listen, we just do these questions. We answer questions. All right. So here we go. All right. Number one. It's no coincidence that Ryan Garcia was just haneyed due to overlooking a 10-1 betting underdog. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact because I know Ryan Garcia is such a better fighter than what he showed, to this past week. I didn't understand it. And I mean, just looking at the fight, I thought, okay, Ryan gonna come out and just fill him out maybe the first round, then start picking it up the second round. But he didn't. For Rolly, the one picked it up. And I'm waiting, and all of a sudden Ryan is just waiting. And I'm like, what is going on here? And I don't know, man. It was just, everything Ryan tried to do, Rolly did better. And, it was a complete shock to me because I didn't think it was going to be a knockout, but I really thought that Rolly was going to win.
Yeah, I mean, as you were mentioning there, with it being a 10-1, I seriously favor Ryan Garcia. I seriously favor Ryan Garcia by knockout. They're at least by the sixth round. But going from what happened in the second round, it almost seemed like he was shell shocked. One, and then two, he was completely nullified on offense. And I've seen a lot there from Rolando Rolly Romero as far as like his differences from what he was, beforehand in a couple of fights before, particularly, against Isaac Cruz, and then here against Ryan Garcia, and him, making some subtle adjustments, particularly on defense, that made him be a puzzle of sorts there for Ryan Garcia, to say the least. Shout out to Ismael Salas for being a good little impact there for Rolly Romero in his past.
No. Look. I'm gonna say this. K Karoma, brother. K Karoma. Brother. K Karoma was a huge part of this fight plan strategy. Ronnie, can we hear you? Ronnie, are you there, sir? Yeah, he's mute.
No sound. Yeah, I can't necessarily hear you there, Coach Ronnie.
Yeah, can you hear us? I don't know if you can hear us.
No, I don't think so, because we can't hear you. All right, we might have to see if we could go off and come back on or something like that. I don't know what happened.
Yep.
That work. Oh, hold on.
There we go. I can hear you now.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
I just got it. Just got sound.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was just there we go. Now you were saying there, Joe, the impact of K Karoma in the camp.
Yeah, man. Honestly, he is the architect of this strategy and you can tell he was watching a lot of fight tape from that Tank Davis fight, because after knocking him down almost identically in the second round, Ryan was a no-show for the rest of the fight. Doing a good job of almost jousting with that lead hand of Ryan Garcia.
Yep. Completely nullified the jab there of Ryan Garcia with that lead hand. And you've seen, the left hook pretty much be telegraphed there from Ryan Garcia as well. So I was like, wow, he pretty much like shut him down.
What should Ryan have done in that fight? I mean, can we just say anything? Or did you notice something while watching that fight?
No, I mean, I was just shocked that when he came out, he came up pretty good. Like I say, normally the first round's a feel around, depending on who the fighter is. But he came out, it just seemed like just to feel him out. But then in the second round, it's like he came out the same way. I couldn't believe that. I'm like, man, you need to, at least throw more jabs, to set him up. And his best punch is the left hook. No matter if it's working or not, you got to keep throwing it, because that's your punch. That's your number one thing that you do is throw that left hook. And he wasn't throwing it at all. I couldn't believe it, man. I'm like, even if you miss, let him know it's there, that you got it there. He could have telegraphed it to make sure right hands got in, anything, because you could see that Rolly was looking for the left hook. Then all of a sudden, as the fight went on, like in the 8th, 9th, 10th round, Rolly was like, hey, forget the left hook now. I don't care about that.
That's such an important point, Ronnie, and one that most fans don't realize. What happens if you let your opponent get that confidence by the 7th or 8th round?
Yeah.
How difficult is it to beat and knock out someone who has that kind of confidence in the back third?
Yeah, man. I mean, he was so confident that he knew he was winning every round. So he was like, man, this guy ain't got nothing for me. So that builds his confidence. That builds everything up. Rolly was just letting punches go. You could tell he was in great shape. He felt good. He didn't get tired at all. I mean, he was ready. And Ryan was just like, man, he was just waiting in the balance. I don't know what it is, man, but it seemed like every time Golden Boy have shows and guys on these shows, they can't win. What is up with that?
Well, I tell you what, maybe he's been hanging out or making fun of Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn
the same way
in that fight card went 0-3.
Yeah.
on
He was the
Saturday.
same. Yeah, he was the same way.
So,
And I'm
well,
like, man.
I will say this. And maybe I shouldn't say this on your show, James or Ronnie. But look, I don't care. And I mean this, and this is from the heart, brother. Rolly Romero, can we say he's on that good? Dude, he looked like the Incredible Hulk at the weigh-in.
Well, but you got to understand, right? Rolly wasn't a 135 pounder when he was fighting 135 pounds.
No,
he should have been heavier. He should have been a welterweight then. Okay, and he would just suck dry. That's that's it. But now he found his weight. He found out where he's really at.
Yeah, but Ronnie, come on, man. You don't get just because you move up 2 weight divisions, you don't just adopt the action figure body build, right? He looks like an action figure. And dude, that's no exaggeration, Ronnie.
No, but that's his normal self though. He didn't have to struggle to make weight. His muscles filled in. I mean, he looked good. As far as his physique. That's Rolly. That's him. He couldn't be that way at 135 because he was sucking himself down too much.
That is true. Very good. Well, I tell you what though, I am so happy for Rolly Romero. 10-1 underdog, beats the brakes off of that favored $20 million man, Ryan Garcia. James, could you believe when those purses were announced, sir?
Oh man, that was like insane. That was insane. So that, is a perfect lead up to number 2. All right, here we go. Turkey LLC has just learned an important lesson within the business of boxing. Never pay out inflated purses to anyone, especially young American fighters. Fact or fiction?
That's going to be a fiction. He's going to continue to do it. The thing about it is, man, money is not a problem for these guys. So, so what? He paid him $20 million. Okay. They're looking like, so what? I mean,
my gosh.
That's what it is. I mean, it is what it is. These guys, they throwing money around like that. And I mean, they're not just giving it to them. They're giving it to everybody.
So Ronnie, so you're saying the fiction is the fact that he hasn't learned his lesson?
No, not yet.
Oh, geez.
Not yet.
Oh, well, look, and the reason why that American fighters description is included, because we didn't have this problem for the Eubank Jr. Conor Benn fight, did we?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now, what do you think of Ryan Garcia's claim, Ronnie? He's saying, no, I just couldn't really get into it because it felt like a sparring session with no crowd, and it just, I just didn't feel the electricity. And when you look at in comparison to Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., that was in front of 65,000 fans in a stadium. Do you think that environment really does have a difference, Ronnie?
Absolutely, it does. It really and truly does. Makes a big difference. Sometimes, I mean, just looking at the thing the other night, man, it was like, man, it looked weird. It did. It looked weird that, you didn't have a whole lot of people there.
Right.
And there was, and it didn't look like it was a real fight. It looked like he was at some kind of exhibition thing. And maybe, in his, he just couldn't get up for it, because there was really nobody there. It was, not a lot of people like you expect for a stadium, And tell you the truth, man, really and truly being an ex-fighter, being in front of a big crowd really amps you up because you want to do good in front of them. It probably was a letdown, not even thinking about money, But just thinking about, man, it ain't nobody here.
No energy. Yeah, no
Yeah,
energy,
nothing,
no
none whatsoever.
cheering and nothing like
Because
that.
yeah, you didn't hear anything.
Yep.
You know, it was like all the fights were boring because none of people was screaming and hollering, nothing.
Mm.
You know, so you know, it was you know, hope they learn a lesson on this thing because man, you need to get people involved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? We always say on this show that the fans really make the event pop.
They
And
do.
like, look, in comparison, look at the different markets, right? I was just told from friends of mine who work with Queensberry Promotions that this weekend they sold over 60,000 tickets already for Daniel Dubois versus Alexander Usyk 2 for July 19th.
Yep.
That is going to be a fantastic event, James. James,
Yeah.
in your opinion, what's going to be the bigger event on the same night? Pacquiao versus Barrios or Usyk versus Dubois 2?
The atmosphere for Usyk Dubois 2 will be the bigger one. Pacquiao,
I think Ronnie
Barrios,
has really hit the nail on the head here,
yeah,
James. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely on that front. So, but me being at Times Square, what was it? March, pretty much that weekend of March 1st, and I just looked at that scene, and I'm like, at the time I took a video. I'm like, you mean to tell me that Turkey Al-Sheikh is going to try to pull off this here in Times Square? And well, they did it. But you know, like you all were saying, that atmosphere just made it dry, extremely dry. And you could even see like the difference between that and what we saw on Sunday night, which you'll eventually get to here.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right. So real quick here, want to give a quick shout out to those here in the live chat, to my guy, brother Jay Pylon out there in the building.
Brother Jay.
Yeah, great to see Coach Ronnie Shields salute there and says hello, chat. Ronnie Shields, JR, and Joe there, and my guy Smitty Lewis there. You know, shout out to him there. Like you said, the crowd atmosphere sucked, and there was no energy. Yeah, man,
None whatsoever.
There was no energy for that. So I mean, they're gonna have to figure a couple things out, given that what they might do here later on down the line. Hopefully, we talk about that at a later time or a later date. But now we're gonna move forward here with number 3. Here we go. Number 3, Devin Miles Haney and William School look like they were both trained by Mr. Not Get Hit himself, Floyd Mayweather Jr. Is that fact or fiction?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
No,
Oh,
you know,
man. Look. Let's go through the purses here, James.
Mm-hmm.
William Skull, 5 million rock.
Uh-huh.
Devin Haney, 10 million rock.
Oh my God.
You know, can we say that someone right now is having buyer's remorse? Chihuahua. Dude, how do you put forth that performance, Ronnie?
Yeah.
How do you put forth that performance when you're making that much damn money?
Well, here's my thing, right? With Haney, right? But when I saw Shane Mosley in the corner, right? I say, please don't let him try to fight like Shane.
Oh.
And what he do?
He
Try to fight like Shane. I was like, man, come on. I mean, but here's the thing, right? Him and School fought the same fight, basically. But School fought in Saudi Arabia and Haney fought in the States. So in the States, the judges are more lenient as far as you boxing that way, I guess. Because the way he fought, School fought the same fight.
Yeah, so how did one get shut out in Saudi Arabia and the other one pitched a shutout in New York?
I don't know. I mean, he was
because of the judges.
Wait a minute. No, I never thought of that.
Hey,
Ronnie, you're a genius, brother.
Hey, Joe, you got something on it? Because I kind of like put this as fiction, but for certain reasons, and one of them you already know about. But I have it as fiction a little bit. But what did you think about both of their performances over the weekend?
Dude, look, I'll be honest, man. No, I don't want to say anything now because it's coming up in fact or fiction.
Okay.
Exactly what I think of it. Look,
Okay.
Can we do the first 5 rapid fire Q&A with Ronnie Shields?
All right.
Can we do the first 5? Because, dude, I need to take a break. I'm getting fired up about this.
All right, guys. Before we get on the rapid fire Q&A, to me, I put this as fiction because I have Devin Miles Haney looking like he was mimicking Ash Shakur Nafi Shaheed Stevenson in the ring while he was while Shakur Stevenson was watching Devin Haney. And for me, Shakur Stevenson, and it's on my channel, so I can go ahead and do it. Shakur Stevenson should have been like Soulja Boy while watching Devin Haney and saying, he copied my whole fucking flow. Okay? So
Ronnie,
that was Devin Haney.
What did you think of Terrence Crawford winning a bet, the always competitive, almost to a point where he seems insane? Mm-hmm. Ultra competitive Terrence Crawford betting his stablemate, Shakur Stevenson, on the Rolly Ryan fight, and Crawford won $15,000.
Oh, wow. That's great.
He bet on Rolly.
Wow. Well, Crawford is a smart man. This is why I'm betting on him.
Very smart, because he just talked himself into a huge payday. Oh, my gosh. But we'll talk about that in a bit. James.
All right. Now, with William Skull, I said this before. I said this immediately after the fight. William Skull did his best impression of MC Hammer. Break it down.
That's why we pray. We pray. Pray. We got to pray.
Just to make it today.
I said we pray. Pray. Woo!
All right.
Dude, good times, man. I haven't thought of that MC Hammer in a long time, man. Look, I'm sorry, man. I was like a senior in high school when that came out, man. And I'm sorry, man. I'm proud to say that I bought that CD when it first came out. Yes. Yes, I did it. Woo!
Yeah. So now
I never bought those ugly pants, though.
All right, here we go with take 2 as we're going to shift gears, and we're going to have, once again, there, Brother Joe, what are we going to have?
We're having rapid fire Q&A with the living legend, Coach Ronnie Shields, even in the tri-state area. Woo!
Hey. All right, here we go.
Thank you, Teddy. Woo!
With number 1. All right, bigger disappointment, Al Capone's vault or the Times Square event?
Times Square event.
Oh, my gosh. Do you remember that with Geraldo Rivera? Where they made such a big deal about that in the 80s?
Yep.
And there was nothing in there.
Absolutely nothing.
And they had like a live audience on ABC of like over 60 million people. Do you remember that, Coach?
I do remember that.
Yeah, and so you still insist that this Times Square event was a bigger disappointment.
Yeah, because this sucked bad.
Oh, yeah. That's look for Coach Ronnie to say that says it all now, doesn't it, James?
Oh man, it sure does. Here we go. Number 2, better R&B crooner, Teddy Pendergrass or Isaac Hayes?
Oh my God, this is a hard one. Wow.
You can always
say hi, Ronnie.
No. Look, let me tell you something, right? When I worked with Mike Tyson when he fought Lennox Lewis, and we went to Memphis, we went to Isaac Hayes' restaurant.
Ooh.
And he served us.
Wow.
Wow. So I got to go with my man Isaac.
It gets the nod. Wow. Even though Teddy Pendergrass was a paraplegic.
Yep.
You're still giving it to Isaac? Okay.
I got to give it to Isaac only because I.
Tiebreaker. It's a tiebreaker.
You know what? You know what, man? Honestly, I would have said push because I love both, man.
No,
Teddy
I do.
P,
I love both.
Isaac Hayes, Shaft, or turn out the lights. Come on now. Woo!
Hello, everybody.
Turn
All right.
off the lights.
Here we go.
Oh yeah.
Number 3, better R&B talent: Al Green or Marvin Gaye?
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. I'm gonna say tie on this one.
Yeah.
I got to go with a tie. I like both
Okay,
of
let's
them.
make it a little
I
easier.
really like both of them.
No, I love both of them. How could you not? And it's like it's almost like the soundtrack of every man's love life. How do you like that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Dude. So that was a tough one. That was a tough one. James,
right.
You want to be the tiebreaker here, brother?
Oh, for this one?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go with Marvin Gaye. I have to go with Marvin Gaye.
There is no wrong answer here.
Yeah, there is no wrong answer, but
yeah.
We have to go with Marvin Gaye. All right.
Speaking of wrong answers, James, what's the next one? Woo!
All right, here we go.
Yes.
Better one and done quarterback: Trent Dilfer or Doug Williams?
Oh my God. This is probably a tie too. Because they both disappointed. Oh my God, yeah. They both, man. They both suck. Oh my God.
Dude, I mean, like this may go down in history, Jay, as the toughest rapid fire Q&A in the history.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started. We're just getting started, Coach. The next ones are just as tough, if not tougher.
All right, here we go.
Number 5. Better NBA shooting guard: George Gervin or James Harden?
I got to go with my man, George Gervin.
Woo! The Iceman.
Yes,
you know what?
Iceman.
I thought for sure you would say James Harden because of the Rockets.
No.
The Iceman. Woo!
Yeah, buddy.
I'll tell you what, man. Those were the days. You remember when they used to play in the Hemisphere Arena?
Absolutely.
Coach? Oh, do you remember when they used to have fights there?
Yep, they did.
At Hemisphere Arena? Oh, my gosh. That was the greatest place to see fights. There wasn't a bad seat in the house.
That's right.
Oh, man. I'll tell you what. I miss those days. We just aged ourselves, Coach. Yeah.
That's all right.
Hey, so what do you think, James? The Iceman, George Gervin, or the Beard Man, James Harden?
Oh, I gotta go with George Gervin. I gotta go with George Gervin.
Absolutely, man.
Boy, that team. Look, if it weren't for Showtime and the Lakers, the Spurs would have won one, especially when we had Artis Gilmore, the A-Train. Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a great team, man. Oh.
Yeah, I just think Gervin is much more efficient as a shooting guard than Harden is. And we just seen that here a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
For sure.
All right. Here we go with more basketball. All right. And more sports in general, too. All right. Number 6. Worst decision: drafting Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan or drafting Ryan Leaf over Peyton Manning?
Drafting Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan, man. Come on. Who does that? What were they thinking about?
They're both pretty boneheaded. Like, honestly, I hope the GM got fired the same year. Like, you remember it was the Portland Trailblazers coach.
Yeah.
And because look, Chicago Bulls were terrible. They never won anything.
Nope.
And it completely changed the culture in Chi-Town.
It did.
And the Trailblazers are still looking for theirs.
Oh
my gosh, dude.
It's the what is it? The infatuation of the center at the time was a driving factor in that. Because the number 1 pick was at the time Akeem Olajuwon, the 5-slammer jammer. So they followed that up with picking another center. And so even with Jordan doing this thing at North Carolina, they You know,
But
Yeah, well, look, it just reminded you that it's a team sport because, look, I'm a huge, because of my dad, the hazards of Heron or the Herons of Hazard County, right? And so, yeah, we were big Kentucky Wildcat fans. That it just reminded you what a massive team sport basketball is because, yeah, we found out very quickly that Sam Bowie wasn't the reason why the Wildcats won the national title that year. Jeez. Jeez.
Man. All right. Here we go with number 7. Bigger detriment to boxing. Jake Paul or the Haney's?
oh my God,
Oh,
this is a tie because both of their ass need to retire.
hey, do you smell that, James? Dude, what a debut on the boxing source.
Shit.
Boy, Ronnie, I'll tell you what. You know what? The next one I think is really going to stump you, brother. The
All
next
right.
one, and because it stumped me. The next one. And obviously, we've got 2 pushes now, and we're only 7 in.
All right.
James?
Here we go. Number 8. Cooler 70s Christmas gift. A Snoopy snow cone machine or the Pizza Hut Easy Bake Oven?
Oh, wow.
Do you remember that, Ronnie?
Yes, I remember both of them.
Mm.
But I might have to go with the snow cone machine.
Yes. Yes, I told you, James. I told you. You got the snow cone machine because puro mexicano, brother.
Absolutely,
I love Rasmus.
man.
Yes.
Oh, goodness.
Told you, James.
Oh goodness! I just said, hey, I couldn't pass the Pizza Hut Easy Bake Oven. I love Pizza Hut.
Oh, I tell you what, though, my sister one Christmas got the Easy Bake Oven. Nice to eat all of her inventory.
All right, here we go. This one, all right. This one could be a tough one.
No, it is.
All right, here we go.
Uh-oh.
Hotter R&B 80s singer, Jody Watley or Sade?
Sade is my girl. I got to go to Sade.
I don't know, Coach. Jody Watley was strong as wine, brother.
She was good.
It's Sade.
I'm looking for a new love, baby. A new love.
I think that's a favorite for Coach Ronnie. So
Sade.
I don't know though, man. Jody Watley was so gorgeous.
She was. She was all that, but Sade was better.
Oh man. So
close your ears, Miss Shields.
Number 9. All right, here we go with the last one. All right.
Wait, James. Don't go anywhere, man. You haven't answered this yet.
Oh, no,
what say you, brother? You're the tiebreaker, man. Because I say Jody Watley.
Oh, Sade. I got Sade. That's
no, so that's a no-brainer. Am I just weird? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, it's given that time and even like given in the 90s, like it was Sade the whole time, at least to me. It was like even then because remember because 90s, right? You had her as a solo artist, you had Janet Jackson, but also you had groups like In Vogue too. So had to be Sade. Had to be.
Oh man, you guys, you know what? Say what? I wholeheartly disagree, brother. And that's from the heart right there, man.
Hey, listen. Sorry. You know what? For this one, I'm going to see about posting up, both of them. And
no, you should make a poll after this, brother. I want to hear from the fans.
I'm gonna put a poll up.
I don't agree at all, dude. Now look, once again, Sade's, I wouldn't kick her out of but come on, man. Come on. Dude, Jody Watley was, dude, come on now.
She was good.
Even down to the way they dressed, man. Come on now.
Oh, man.
So I'm sorry. Let's go to the last one, but I wholeheartedly disagree, man.
All right, here we go. Number 10. More action in the ring. Canelo versus Crawford, or Haney versus anyone at 147 pounds?
Oh,
Crawford versus anyone.
He said
oh no,
Crawford.
no, no. Wait a minute.
Wait.
No, no, no.
hold on.
Canelo versus Crawford or Haney versus anyone at 47.
Oh, Canelo versus Crawford could definitely be better than
Oh man. Ronnie, is that just about it for Devin Haney?
man.
Because
You
look,
better-
correct me if I'm wrong, Ronnie. He looked about as nervous as a toothache.
But the thing about it is, right? I just couldn't believe that. I can understand maybe for the first couple of rounds, you're moving around like that. But Haney, Haney is such a good fighter that I didn't understand that. I didn't understand why, especially against the opponent that he had who was right in front of him. It was just easy to step around, and you didn't have to do all that moving and running. And to me, it did make sense because Haney can really fight, man. He's a good boxer. And,
Yep.
But I didn't understand the moving, and
Well, Coach, can we just be honest here, right? Let's be honest. It was so bad that he made Vladimir Klitschko look like David Tua.
Oh
Like,
my
talk
God.
about scared in the ring, Coach. It's like, dude, do you really want to do this?
Yeah,
It's like, what, dude? You're a prize fighter. This is what you do, and you look like you're afraid to get hit.
Yeah, that's what it looked like, man. But I know he's better than that, and that's why I didn't understand it. He had a chance to showcase his skills. Being right in front of somebody, making them miss, and then doing his counterpunching the way he does, and but the way he did it, and
He looked genuinely scared, Coach.
yeah, he just looked like he didn't want to fight, man. He just, I'm gonna get my check and I'm gonna skedaddle.
Oh gosh,
Well, he better be glad he wasn't in Saudi.
Tell you what, man, it was bad. It was bad, James.
Yeah, and I just couldn't understand it. Like I said, after the first couple of rounds, he did the Shakur Stevenson, and then after that, you've seen a couple of instances where he would, kind of like have scraps in close quarters. But then after that, he was, as Ahmad on back in the day song said, back on the bike or something like that. Man, it was crazy. So, but there it is. That is your 10 rapid fire questions. All right.
I'll tell you what, I think that was probably the toughest rapid fire Q&A that we've had.
Oh yeah.
That was hard.
Honestly, I'm still stumped on the Al Green Marvin Gaye. Really.
Hey, I feel you.
But I will say this, going back to which one is the football one? James, can you pull that one back up again?
All right, the one with the
quarterbacks.
The quarterbacks. Okay. The Trent Dilfer and Doug Williams.
Look, I will say this. Trent Dilfer, he was a game manager. Doug Williams, the only reason why he started that Super Bowl against the Broncos was because Jay Schrader got hurt.
Yeah.
Doug Williams, during that Super Bowl, putting up 35 points in one quarter. Yeah, I couldn't see Trent Dilfer doing that, so I would have to give the nod to Doug Williams.
Off of one game?
Yeah.
I thought we were talking about careers here.
Or for like the 1 year and then or one successful time, and that's it.
Look, he's got my sympathetic vote because he spent all that time with the Buccaneers. Oh. Well, you know what? They both spent all that time with the Buccaneers, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So, you're right. It's a push, Ronnie. Man, that was tough. Hey, Wawa.
All right. So that was a good, like I said, a good rapid fire Q&A segment here. Now we're gonna, move forward. Actually, we are currently at number 4.
Where were we, Jay? So number 4.
We gotta get to number 4. Here we go. Teofimo Lopez proved last Friday that he is a class of 140 pounds. Fact or fiction?
I'm gonna say fact on that. You know what?
Mm.
He fought the best fight of the night. You know, he moved a little bit, but he also stood his ground a lot more than everybody else. You know, he really did.
He did have the performance of the night, Coach. But is that
Yeah.
saying anything at all?
Well, I mean, it's saying a lot about
Mm-hmm.
it said a lot about the guys that were supposed to be on the show that was supposed to be
Yeah.
better than him. You know,
Yeah.
it did. It says a lot because you know he showed his skills. You know, Hater didn't show his skills. You know, him and Canelo didn't show the skill that they were known for. And
Now,
you know,
Ronnie, were you surprised? Were you surprised that Barbosa was schooled like that from mid to long range?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Were you surprised that Arnold Barbosa
Oh.
was schooled like that from, no pun intended, was schooled
Yeah.
like that from mid to long range?
You know, I was a little surprised because I thought he was a better fighter than what he showed. But maybe it was just, you know, the style. You know, sometimes styles make fights. They say it all the time.
Well,
styles make fights. So maybe it's just
Ronnie,
that.
though, we just talked about, and you brought this up, that the crowd really makes a difference.
It
And
does.
my logic was, I actually thought that the crowd, when they started booing, when there was little to no action in Barbosa Lopez,
Right.
that the A side, Lopez, was going to feel that urgency to press the action and force the fight, which was going to be his undoing. And he never did that. And why?
Well,
Because there was no crowd.
There was no crowd, but you know, and he knew he was winning. So
Yep.
why did he have to change anything? You know,
Exactly.
he didn't need to change anything to make it more exciting. You know,
Right.
it was Barbosa's chance to do that. You know, he was supposed to do that, but he
Yeah.
didn't. You know, and that's the thing, man. You know, I think it would have been a lot better, like I said, if they would have had a crowd rooting for them, and you know, I think the crowd missing was the worst mistake they ever did on putting on fights
Yeah.
like that. I hope they learn their lesson on this thing and never ever do that again.
Yeah, you know, I'm with you, Coach. James, your thoughts, my friend.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful that they never ever do it again. And you know, given what we know, we'll find out here soon enough how they're going to handle things within, I would say, a couple of months. So that's what I got on that. So we're ready to move to number 5. All right, here we go. This weekend's snoozers are proof positive that an even 10-10 round should be implemented in boxing once again. Fact or fiction?
Yes.
I'm gonna say fiction.
Oh, Ronnie,
Man,
say it ain't so.
I'm telling you, man. Look, in this sport, right? Somebody's going to win this round, no matter what. Somebody has to win the round. You know, you can't be having 10-10 rounds every round. That's you're never going to see that. Somebody's going to do something. You know, even if it's, you know, case in point, Skull and Canelo. Come on, man. Canelo didn't do anything. He didn't cut the ring. He didn't do anything. He just let the dude run all over the place, and he just threw it back. He wanted to get the crowd to say, hey, well, you know, Canelo's right. This guy don't want to fight, blah, blah, blah. So he didn't feel that he had to do nothing, you know? And if you call one of those, if anything, all of those rounds should have been a draw. The fight should have been a draw because neither one of them did anything. I mean, it was crazy, you know, and he didn't give the promoters an $80 million fight. He gave them a $9.99 dime store fight.
Hey, you know what, James? I tell you what, next time they have one of these events, I looked up. Now, I know this fight was in Manhattan, Times Square, but in case there's another event at the Barclay, you remember you were complaining about rates in the New York area?
Oh,
brother,
what?
I checked my old stomping ground, the Brooklyn Motor is only $120 per night.
Holy
Wow.
$120.
Yep. Hey, in the tri-state area, and it gets 4 out of 10 stars.
Hey, nah,
Shit.
I might have to stay over in Newark or something. If I'm gonna be out there that weekend.
Hey, it could be worse. It could be on Staten Island.
Heck, yeah, that is right. Right. Oh my goodness. All right.
Okay. Well, which borough is worse? Is it Brooklyn or Staten Island?
I have to say
James?
Staten Island, actually.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm saying it could be worse. The
Yeah.
cockroaches even agree with me. Yes.
Oh man. Oh man. Okay, here we go. We got like what is it, around like 15 minutes or so.
No. But look, James, look, going back to the even round thing.
Yeah, okay.
Someone asked me how I scored the Canelo versus Skull fight.
All right.
And I said 120 to 120 because neither guy did anything to deserve the victory. In my opinion, that kind of performance either way should not be rewarded. In fact, they're damn lucky that they didn't have their purse withheld, because that's the kind of crap that keeps people away from the sport, Ronnie.
Yeah,
it is true.
Oh, so once again, my argument is, how can you reward that kind of performance?
Let me tell you something. If the fight wasn't in Saudi Arabia, if it was in the United States, they would have booed the hell out of them. I'm telling you. Every round, I wouldn't have been surprised if people would have been start walking at the door.
It was almost like Joseph Igbeko versus Guillermo Rigondeaux back in the day. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh man, that one was a bad one. I was gonna say it was gonna be like Erislandy Lara versus Terrell Gausha in 2017.
Oh
yeah.
Or Erislandy Lara versus Austin Trout. Ouch. Dude, that was at the bargain. I'm like, Austin.
Yeah.
Why did you elect to take that fight? Oh, I was kind of talked into it, and I'm like, dude, Ronnie, were you falling asleep in the corner of that fight?
Yeah, I was.
My goodness. Oh man. All right. So all right, here we go. Going speaking of Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan. Here we go to number 6. Once again, JR, Ronnie, and Joseph were proven correct in their mutual assessment and observations on Canelo Alvarez and his future. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's a fact.
Guys, look, didn't we say last week, Coach, that don't be shocked, guys, if he looks old, slow, and he can't pull the trigger like he used to?
Yep, absolutely.
Guys, once again, your eyes don't deceive you. Everything we saw in training last week. Yeah, he looked old. Yeah. Ronnie. So I'm going to say it. Does Crawford beat him in September?
Like I said, I told you a month ago, yes.
Several times.
Yeah, several times. Terrence Crawford.
We talked about it.
You got to understand, Terrence Crawford, you won't see that running around the ring. You won't see any of that. You'll see Terrence going as a southpaw, and then you'll see him go orthodox also. But you'll see him stepping around Canelo, making Canelo throw them punches at him, and he's just going to counter Canelo time after time after time. And that's all he has to do. In order for Canelo to win, he has to knock Crawford out. Simple. And that's the hardest thing to do, because Crawford, man, he has good defense. And he's not a power puncher, but he can hit you and hurt you. And then he know how to put punches together to stop you. And I don't think it's going to be a stoppage, not at all. But I really do think that Crawford is going to win this fight. Now, fighting in Las Vegas, right? That's the only thing that would bother me if I was on Crawford's team. And I hate to say it, but when I was with Every Sunday Law and we fought Canelo in
Uh-oh.
Vegas, it's
Uh-oh.
nowhere in the world that
Levi Martinez.
Yep. Nowhere in the world that Laura lost that fight, especially with the scorecard that Levi Martinez showed.
Oh, that was
It's
pathetic,
like
Coach.
he was drinking coffee and just he had his head turned when
9
he was
rounds
watching
to
the
3
fight.
for Canelo, Coach. 9 rounds to 3 for Canelo.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
That was
Like, honestly, if I'm being nice, it's maybe a draw. But I had Arislanda winning that one easy, 8 rounds to 4.
Easy 8 rounds to 4.
Easy.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I thought I was being nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And this was when Canelo was at his best. So, you know, so yeah, man, I mean, come on. And with Levi Martinez, he had his scorecards already written down. All he had to do was hand them to whoever was picking them up.
Hey, like Charles Barkley says, it was terrible, and really bad.
No, and you know, I got a bone to pick with Charles Barkley, man.
Uh-oh.
Dude, you remember? Yeah, you remember when the NCAA, the Final Four, was in San Antonio?
Yep.
He said the same thing. Now, you know, man, there's some fat girls, man, in San Antonio. And he said this, and I was shocked when he said, man, because they eating too many of them skinny donuts. What do they call them? Churros? And I'm like, you know what? You look like you've been eating too many churros, man. Get out of here, Baldy.
Oh, my God.
You really,
you know what we need, though, in boxing? You know what we need in boxing, James? We need someone like Charles Barkley doing the commentary. We don't have someone like that in boxing.
Well, as far as like someone that has that comedic, that aspect of it, but still is a good analyst for it, yeah. Because like we can't get nobody like a Snoop Dogg.
But I tell you what, but Barkley can only commentate exciting fights. He could never commentate fights that we saw this past weekend.
Because he would pull a Teddy Atlas and shit all over the sport, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like how some people accuse him of doing there with the NBA at times. So hey.
Yeah.
Geez. You know what, dude? But you look. The point is, now I'm gonna bring this up because I thought this was terribly unfair. Now look, we all know how terrible the card was in Times Square on Friday.
Yeah.
And Jim Lampley, he got drilled by the fans and writers and everybody. And I'm like, look, I thought he and Antonio did a fine job considering what they had in front of him. Yep. Because I'm sorry, last year, guys, I called a fight with Sugar Shane Mosley. And it was the same situation. 2 lumbering heavyweights staring at each other, counterpunchers, waiting for their opponent to let their hands go first.
Their hands go. Oh, man.
And it got to the point where I said, Sugar Shane, your thoughts, my man? And he goes, well, Joseph, I really don't know what to say because there's nothing happening here. I really don't know what to say. And so I said, well, I tell you what, that's a great opportunity for us to talk about your illustrious career instead. And so we just did that. Look, guys, you don't realize how difficult this job is.
Yeah.
When you've got fights like that. Like, what is he supposed to talk about?
Yeah.
Ronnie, are they being terribly unfair to the legend, Jim Lampley?
Yeah, they are. They were. He can only call what he sees, and if nothing is happening, he can't make it up because you're watching it. It would have been a big difference, though, if it was on the radio and you was listening to it. Then he can start saying something,
oh, man.
that you don't know. That's what's really going on.
You're right.
You know what? You know what? We're gonna have to start doing radio blackout coverage from now on, just to make boxing look better, man. Chihuahua. That, you know what? Yeah, everyone's been terribly unfair to my man Jim Lampley. I
I
know
thought he
he's
did a
old,
great
but
job.
I thought he did a fine job. He and Antonio.
No, I thought he did a great job, both of them.
I
And
mean,
a lot of people don't like Antonio Tarver, but I thought he called everything perfectly.
Yeah,
I
I
did.
thought his criticism was right on point.
Yeah, everything was really good. I thought he did a great job.
yeah, his criticism was on point there for the most part of it. That team kind of reminded me of what they were doing back in the days of HBO boxing, and you add in Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson like, hey, listen, man, I like what Teofimo Lopez did in the ring. This is great.
Look, guys. Look, I will say this. Could you make it a bit more obvious that Mike Tyson was stoned out of his mind? Come on, guys. Don't let him get high during the broadcast, man. I mean, dude, you would think that's a no-brainer, but
hopefully he isn't getting high on his own supply like Notorious B.I.G. said with the 10 Commandments. All right, so here we go. We gotta see. We got a couple more here. All right, number 7. After Canelo's performance against the track star from Cuba, Bud Crawford should be even money against the cinnamon boy from Mexico. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's gonna be a fact, but he's not gonna be. You see, he's not gonna be even close. People are gonna say, "Oh, he's too big. He's this. He's that." They don't have a rehydration clause. Now Crawford is confident. This is why he wouldn't put a rehydration clause in it, because he wanted to be Canelo at his very best, at the best Canelo that he is right now. And Crawford is a real fighter, man. And really and truly, after this, if Crawford wins this fight, I would really like to see him say, you know what? I've done enough in the sport. I'm going to retire.
Nope. What we got here, at least FanDuel has the odds here, and it has Canelo Alvarez at -220 and Terrence Crawford at +170 currently. So let's just wait a little while for some people to put some money on Canelo Alvarez, and then after that, I'll put money on Terrence Crawford.
Hey, look, guys, I'm still trying to get over the Jody Watley Sade comment, man.
I'm telling you, I'm gonna put up the show. Yeah, I'm gonna put it up. I'm telling you.
You guys are nuts, man. Man. Next thing you know, you're gonna say that Robin Givens, man, is better looking than Halle Berry.
Joe, you put it like this, Joe. It's the sweetest taboo.
Oh, damn. Well, I'll tell you what, man. Well, you know what? I just saw, you know what? I have to recant, dude. I just pulled up a picture of Sade right now from the 80s.
There we go.
I think you're right, Ronnie. I think you're right. Damn. Guys, Sade. That's how you spell Sade. Look it up. I think Ronnie's right. I stand corrected, guys. Oh boy, Sade, man. Woo.
All right, here we go with number 8. Martin Bacoli is a completely different fighter at 280, 290 pounds. Fact or fiction?
Fiction.
You think he was just a one-trick pony against Jared Anderson?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
no doubt. Man,
you told us that Efe Ajagba might win this fight.
I told you, and I thought he did win. I did.
Yeah,
I thought he won.
6 rounds of 4. I had it 6 rounds of 4.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I think that's about what I had it. 6-4. Look, I mean, Ajagba, he moved around a lot, but still, he landed more, he threw more. A lot of times, he even backed Bacoli up a little bit, but not much. But he didn't have to. He just, I thought he won the fight.
Let's be honest, Ronnie. Let's be honest. Devin Haney made Efe Ajagba look like Rocky Marciano. Come on
yes,
now.
He did.
Come on now.
Absolutely.
Hey,
he did.
I don't know though. Like it was funny to me because when Efe Jagba was moving around and Bacoli was like trying to get him to fight, it was almost like looking at Don Flamenco from Mike Tyson's Punch Out. Yep.
Oh, dude, I forgot about that. That's hilarious.
Yep.
Oh, Chingao, man. I tell you what, the guy said. Ronnie, can you think of an entire weekend outside of the Inoue fight, just those first 2 nights? Can you think of a bigger bust in boxing ever?
Never. This was ridiculous. I mean, it really was. And the only good thing about the weekend was the $89.99 price for 2 fights.
I'm sorry, I that should have been free, Ronnie. Dude, I'm serious. Dude, they should have even thrown in free Taco Supreme.
You applaud the people that stole it?
Oh boy. Ronnie, it becomes virtually impossible to convince someone to pay for it at this point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, like, honestly, they should have thrown in some free vouchers, man, for Taco Tuesday or something, man. Like, dude, that was bad.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Oh my gosh, dude. Yeah, okay. I'm with you, Ronnie. I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like this.
Now, this actually brings me to something when it comes to these events, right? This has happened for, ever since he started it. Yep. Even though they had these things, available for pay-per-view, what did they do soon after? They posted on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like they post the whole damn fight.
Yep.
Taking away why don't they just put it on a bigger platform like Netflix? And you know what? Quit charging money for it.
Or why don't they just try to steal a page from ProBox TV and just put it on YouTube? How about that?
Why not? Why not? Everyone has smart TVs nowadays anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come on, man. It's like, dude, is Turkey trying to just flush his money down the toilet? Is he trying to do his best Adrian Broner impression? Yeah, I said it.
Oh, man.
Let's go to the last one there.
We got a couple more here. All right, here we go with number 9. Naoya Inoue was exposed this weekend for being a fighter with balls, unlike these other clowns. Fact or fiction?
Well, that could be fact that he wasn't exposed, though. I mean, look, he's a good fighter, but he is a fighter with balls. That's for damn sure.
Mm-hmm.
This kid can fight, man, no matter what. He takes chances.
Mm-hmm.
There's no fault in that. And I was for it.
Right.
This is what you have to do.
Yep.
You have to take chances. And okay, you got caught, but at the same time, look what he did when he came back. He showed he has the balls to say, okay, I got dropped, but you know what? I'm back up on my feet and I'm coming after you. And that's what he did. And he got the knockout and he got his hand raised. And that's what boxing is all about. This is what people want to see. People want to see good fights. They want to see both fighters come and give their best. What we saw Friday and Saturday wasn't the best that each guy had. We saw a sleepy version of everybody. But Inoue came out and he fought the way he was supposed to fight. And although he got dropped, he showed you he had the balls to get back up and that he was a champion.
Yep.
And this is what he did. And he came back and he won. He knocked the guy out and said next.
That's it. You know what? His comments about Crawford Canelo and then this right here, James, that is a great article, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, because their truer words were never spoken. Coach Ronnie is right on the money here. It's like, and people need to start realizing that within this business. Fighters, they cannot be rewarded for this kind of behavior. It's like something has to change.
Yes, something
And
has
if
to
the
give.
fighters aren't willing to do their part, hey, I'm sure you can think of, Ronnie, several hundred hungry young fighters who are willing to let it all hang out in the ring.
No doubt.
Because I can think of about a dozen in your entire stable.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, how's David Morrell looking?
He's looking great. Today was our first day. Well, actually, today was our second day. Our second day working, and he's he's doing really great. He's feeling good, and he's ready to go.
Well, I tell you what, how's his mindset? How's his mind seem when talking to him after his first professional loss?
You know what? He apologized for no reason, and because he didn't have to do that. He didn't have to apologize for anything. And I just told him, look, man, you lost to the better guy that night, but that doesn't mean he's better than you. So now we pick up the pieces and we move on. And that fight possibly is going to come back to him. So, and, he really wants that. But I told him, look, one fight at a time. That fight is not happening anytime soon. So that's just looking ahead. And the guys that they put in front of us now, we have to knock these guys off in order to get back to Benavides. And he understands that. And, and by the way, he had a gender reveal just this past few days ago. And his girlfriend is having a little girl. So he's so happy. He was jumping up and down like he's first time eating candy.
Oh, you know what? Was he doing the way you make me feel dance by Michael Jackson?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, Ronnie, talk about his ability to dance. I mean, that guy is such a huge Michael Jackson fan.
Oh, my God.
Man, he could be easily a professional dancer, couldn't he?
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
He's so athletically gifted.
Yes, he is.
Well, I tell you what, Coach Ronnie, that's great to hear because I love the humility. James, do you think the humility is going to serve him well leading up to this big fight against Imam? What's his name?
Katayev.
Katayev?
The Russian.
Well, that guy's a bruiser, man.
Yeah, he is. Absolutely.
But that's going to be key. His movement is going to be key here in this upcoming fight against Imam Katayev in a big matchup here coming up for in a couple of months here. So definitely looking forward to it. Great that he's starting camp there with you there, Coach Ronnie, and hopefully we get more updates here in the next coming weeks while he gets.
Wait a minute, Coach Ronnie, James, if I may, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Coach Ronnie, is it true? Like you said, man, I hope they learned their lesson. There's a possibility I heard that this fight card on, what is it, June 19th?
July
12th.
July 12th.
Oh, July 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the week before Usyk Dubois and the week before Manny Mario Barrios.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance that this fight card could be in Central Park, the same type of situation.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's what we heard.
Initially. Oh my God. Yeah, I haven't heard that yet.
Yeah, because that's why I was like holding it back earlier in the show. I was like,
oh my God.
Coach, do you think that's a mistake, or because it's Central Park, it will be a very different situation?
Well, it depends on, how many people are there allowed to come in. If they block it off like they did the other day, I think that's going to be terrible for a lot of the fighters. But if they open it up, and let people come in and watch the thing, then I think the fighters are going to get more excited about that.
Yeah, because you think of the potential crowd in Central Park.
Yeah,
We're
absolutely.
talking about a potential 250,000 people, Ronnie.
That'd be great. That'd be great.
Well, let's just hope that they learn their lesson, just like you said, because, yeah, that's not good. And is that going to be part of your preparation with David Morrell? That, hey, you know what? Just Stick to the fight plan. Because it almost seemed like after he hurt David Benavidez in that third round or second round or third round with that left hook, it almost seemed like he was looking for that one punch the entire rest of the fight.
Yeah.
Until the 11th round, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have to sit down with him and go over the fight, and and hopefully we see some things that we can use and not use in the next fight.
And there it is. I tell you what, we're looking for great things from Team Morrell, and we're just happy that he's back with the winning team, the winning coach, Coach Ronnie Shields. And I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to that fight card. It's a fantastic fight card. Ronnie, James, I want you guys both to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Shakur being there ringside, front and center, do you think he learned from both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia what not to do when faced with a guy like William Zepeda?
I don't know. It might be Shakur being Shakur again.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to see. Because watching others sometimes don't help you.
Yeah.
You can't change yourself because of what you saw there.
Yeah.
Shakur has to be himself.
I mean, because I've heard like people say that it could be an opportunity that he could make this fight like Floyd Mayweather versus Arturo Gatti, but I don't really see that in Shakur Stevenson, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know if he has that kind of dog in him, Coach.
That's something we'll have to wait and see.
Talk about that, Floyd. He was a dog in the gym, man.
Oh yeah, Floyd was, man, because it was, I mean that's the way he trained.
Mm-hmm.
He trained that way, but it's easier to do it that way with big gloves and headgear.
Yeah. I tell you what, man. I tell you what, I wish I had come up with 10 more rapid fire Q&A because I feel like doing another one.
We had like one more. We had like one more fact or fiction, but in reference to Floyd, listen, I did what I had to do. Listen, I train like no other. That's why they call me TBE.
Save it, stuff it, brother. It's because of Floyd Mayweather Jr. that we're seeing this kind of crap. Let's be honest, Ronnie. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're still trying to shit the stench off of Floyd, man. Come on, let's be honest, guys.
Oh, come on. All right,
it was a bank robbery without a mask.
It was. Listen,
come on.
Listen, this is a legalized robbery.
Man, stuff it, Mayweather. Brother, like I said, we're still trying to shake the stench off of that guy. And look at the influence he's had over guys like Shakur, guys like Mayweather, or guys like Haney. Hey, it's the art of hit and not get hit.
Listen, I did what I had to do.
Yeah, but not to the point where you stink out the joint. People want the refund. Chingao. I don't think I'm alone in feeling that way.
Yeah, shout out to Adam here joining us here. He says, I actually see a good fight in Shakur versus Zepeda. All right, we'll see.
I hope so. I hope
so too.
On paper, it looks really good.
Yeah. Like Ronnie, when is boxing in the American market finally going to catch a break?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest. Guys, if we're being honest, David Morrell deserves a medal for that kind of performance in February.
Oh yeah.
That's the best fight in the American market all year so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, just real quick. The odds have Shakur Stevenson at -950 and Zepeda at +540. Yikes.
Well, that means William Zepeda is going to upset if we stay consistent with what happened this weekend.
Good. All right, the last fact or fiction we got here. After this past Friday night, there is no demand to see a rematch between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. Fact or fiction?
Oh, that's definitely a fact. I mean, he blew that, man.
Yep.
Yeah, he blew that. Nobody's gonna want to see that, man, because they're gonna be thinking, look, Haney's gonna be running. what is Ryan going to be doing? Watching. He'll be like Canelo.
Yeah, Canelo versus Cole.
Uh oh. Yeah, guys, flush that one down the toilet. Look, you guys are lucky that you got these 2 paydays for stinking out the joint. Do you deserve another one? Hell no. No, not on your life. Honestly, I'd rather see David Morrell versus David Benavidez 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 before I see a rematch between those 2 clowns. I'm being nice too, Ronnie, aren't I?
Absolutely.
James, your thoughts. Who would you rather see? Wouldn't you rather see Rolly versus Tio instead?
I would.
I would rather see Rolly versus Tio. Yeah, I would rather see Rolly versus Tio than for Tio to actually think that he could face Jerome Boots Ennis.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Me too.
Yeah, you look. Tio, man. Tio, brother. Put the tequila bottle down, brother. Just stop. Like what's. Look, you really, with as talented as he is, Coach, and as charismatic as he is, he should be one of the biggest stars in boxing, and he's not because of, well, let's just be honest, what's coming out of his mouth, Ronnie?
Yeah. Sometimes guys overtalk, and it gets them in trouble.
James, can we ask? Adam's got a question for Coach. All right, hold on. Here we go. So Adam asks, do you guys think anything different of Canelo versus Eubank now?
Canelo versus Eubank.
Yeah, it's a potential fight.
Yeah, next year. Next year, they're talking about Wembley Stadium.
Well, I think it'll be a good fight over there. And I think Eubank plays right into Canelo's hand. And I see Canelo knocking him out early. Because he's not going to run. He's going to fight. That's one thing I can say about Eubank.
Yeah.
He's going to.
Eubank's got a very good chin, though, too, man. And Canelo, gosh, he looked terrible this weekend, Coach.
He did. Well, but if you go back, he can't fight styles that go side to side.
That's true.
And that's the thing.
You expose that, Coach.
Yeah, and he's getting older. So, and he don't want to face those kind of guys. He was forced to fight school because of, him being stripped of the IBF title. He wanted to get it back. So he was forced. Otherwise, if school didn't have a belt, that fight never happens. Then the fight never gets mentioned or anything because Canelo would never want to fight him.
Boy, thanks a lot, IBF.
Hey,
seriously. Hey, and who's one of the chairmen of the IBF? Levi Martinez. I rest my case, brother. And you know that's true, Ronnie. You know with IBF and Daryl Peoples.
Yeah.
And isn't there a fight coming up this weekend, James?
A good fight? You know what? This was like after the fight February 1st. I was talking with a couple other media members about the possibility of Canelo versus Cole. And I told them, I was like, I'd be absolutely surprised if Canelo would try to go after William Cole. And once they announced that fight, I'm like, oh my God, you gotta be kidding me. And this is basically what we got. And oh goodness, we just watched, paint dry in that ring. That's what we were watching.
Dude, you know what? I think I'd rather watch paint dry, man. Gee, it was like watching grass grow, man. It was terrible. And honestly, I think I'd rather watch grass grow. This was so bad for the health of the sport, Ronnie.
It was, man. It was terrible.
Look, the only thing I'm thankful for is that it wasn't on Netflix.
Yeah, me too.
If this were on Netflix, guys, this would be like Al Capone's vault. Like they'd be bringing this up 20 years from now.
Oh yeah, that'd have dropped out of business.
Netflix or HBO or something like that.
Yep.
So thank God for small favors. Thank God no one watches DAZN. Ching out. Oh boy, he'd be the laughing stock of the entire sports community.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right, Adam. Canelo versus Skull was as disgusting as it sounded to begin with. Yep. Shout out to my guy there, Clarence McClay, the No Duck Zone there. Salute my people, boxing swords, old legend, Ronnie Shields. Yep.
So we've got a fight this weekend, James. Emmanuel Navarrete versus Charlie Suarez. And in the co-main event, this is the one I want to see. It's a great matchup. Raymond Murataya versus Zaur Abdullayev for the interim IBF title. And unlike this last IBF title matchup, this one's actually good.
Yeah.
I love this fight. And it's Emmanuel Navarrete versus Charlie Suarez. Also the return of Giovanni Santillan. Oh boy, he took a beating in his last fight and he's going to be taking on Angel Beltran Villa, as well as Albert Gonzalez versus Jose Ortiz. The return of Alan Garcia after getting knocked the F out in his last fight. Wow, this is going to be a very good card, guys. But Ronnie, they had better be Gaddy Ward 1, 2, and 3 to make up for what we just saw.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh man,
absolutely.
Something, a lot of work there, a lot of work.
Man, you know what they ought to do? They ought to put on pay-per-view Gaddy Ward 1, 2, 3 for $10.
Mm-hmm.
I bet you that. I bet a lot of people would buy that right now.
I would buy it.
Me
if
too?
it's in HD. Hell yes. I'd buy all 3 back to back to back.
No, I'm telling you, $10, all 3. You get to watch it, sit down, and say some good fights.
That's
3
it.
good fights.
And you know what? In the co-main event, let's see Asim Rahman versus Oleg Moskayev 1 and 2. How do you like that?
Absolutely.
Those were 2 excellent heavyweight fights, Coach.
Yes, it was.
Oh man, the good old days, Coach. The
good old days.
Oh, geez. Back when fighters had balls. Chingao. And back when everything wasn't outrageously priced. Hey, Wawa, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
Look, James, let's take a quick look back. We heard a lot of great articles in Coach Ronnie's comments today.
All right, hold on. Okay, I see it. Now I was waiting for someone to ask a question there. This came from a previous conversation that I had with my guys here on the YouTube channel. And so, Coach, here we go. Here's the question for you on the chat. Shout out to the Box Academic. He says, what was a better undisputed fight? Canelo versus Skull or Bud Crawford versus Julius Ndongo?
Bud and Ndongo was better.
Yeah. Like, honestly.
By far.
Yeah. There was some action in that fight. Hey, Boxing Academic. Hope you're doing well, my brother.
Yeah.
Thank you for supporting the coach on this day, my friend.
Yeah,
but yeah, look.
Academic, man. That's my guy, man.
How many fights can you think of that are worse than Canelo versus Skull outside of Haney versus Ramirez?
It's not a whole lot. I'll tell you that.
No, I will say this. I will say this. Ones that come to mind is, we mentioned it earlier.
Yep.
King Kong Egbeko versus Guillermo Rigondeaux. Yeah. And Ronnie, you were there. That was terrible.
I was there.
And look, it doesn't help either when you have the Jersey boy fighting James Kirkland in the co-main event. It doesn't help.
Nope.
Because that was all action, and all of a sudden they get the snoozers at feather.
Yeah. But I'm
that was
telling
bad.
You that Erislandy Lara fight with Terrell Garcia. Oh my God. And the thing about that one was, you had the Charlos that were before that, and then once those fights were over, you probably seen about 25% of the crowd leave before that fight started. I was like, no.
Yeah, I'll tell you another one also that really disappointed me, and I really thought you guys were going to do better, Ronnie, was the Southern Disaster, your former fighter.
Dominic Gwynn.
On Showtime, Dominic Gwynn. I thought Dominic Gwynn was going to start James Toney. But once again, man, James Toney proving that, he's still a force at heavyweight when he was competing. I thought, yeah, that one wasn't as scintillating as I had hoped, and also,
No,
oh my gosh, Chris Bird
Chris
versus
Bird,
Touch of Sleep, DeVar Williamson.
Devarro.
Ooh.
Like someone should have told the commission beforehand that they were cousins. Come
Yeah,
on. Do you remember that, Coach?
I remember that.
Dude, Touch of Sleep,
Oh
put us
my
all to sleep.
God.
Chingao.
Yes.
Oh my
That
God.
was so bad. Like, honestly, I was like, guys, and I think Steve Albert doing the call for Showtime, I think he even said the same thing James did. You know, this is like watching paint dry.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah,
That's
you know what?
crazy.
I can't think of very many other fights though that were as bad as what we saw this weekend.
No.
Yeah.
Thank God for the little guys. Look, is it time, Ronnie? Dude, does Turkey Al Sheikh have to invest in the little guys now? Does he need
He
to start
should.
investing in the
He
little
should.
guys?
He should. He should. All he got to go and do is look at Inouye's last fight.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
look at those guys, man.
Yes.
People
Why
want to see
isn't he
excitement.
featuring? Why isn't he featuring Bam Rodriguez?
Yeah, Bam is really an exciting fighter, man. Maybe because, like everybody else, they don't like the smaller weight divisions. And that's crazy to me because they are the most exciting fights.
Yep, it's in my opinion, it's arguably, in my opinion, it's the best product because it
is.
combines elite level skills
Yes.
with nonstop action.
Action. That's right.
Absolutely.
What's not to
Well,
like?
then shout out to Jesse Bam Rodriguez, who has an upcoming fight there, unification bout against Fumalele Cafu on July 19th at the Star.
Yeah,
First
dude,
Show,
that's
Texas.
July 19th. Why is Eddie Hearn scheduling it? One, it's in Dallas and not San Antonio. And then
Mhm.
he's scheduling on the same day as Usyk Dubois and Pacquiao Varrios.
Yep.
I mean, is he trying to tank Bam Rodriguez's career?
Sounds like it.
Oh,
And correct me if I'm wrong, Ronnie, that's the best fighter on his roster right now.
Yep. No doubt.
I tell you what.
yeah, right now.
Now.
That is the best fighter on this roster because I have been
Wow.
ranked in the pound for pound above the unified welterweight champion.
Yeah, you might want to have this as an episode of Unsolved Mysteries with Robert Stack. Oh man, like really,
Oh my God.
this is bad. Like this is bad.
No, that
This
is
like
bad,
right
man.
there with Amelia Earhart and the Bermuda Triangle. Like, why is this happening?
Yeah.
I
It's
don't
just,
understand it.
It's almost like because Eddie. Let's just be honest. Eddie's a very good promoter in the UK.
Yeah.
He knows that. So
Yeah.
why is he doing this?
I have no clue. And speaking of Mr. Edward Hearn, hopefully Mr. Edward Hearn isn't as involved in the card on July 12th as he was here for last Friday.
oh my God. I hope not.
Oh,
I guess with that being said, Joe, you got anything else here for us?
No, what a way to end this first episode of Boxing Source. To end it with Eddie Hearn. Yeah, we got to think of something. Ronnie,
okay. Let's see. Okay. Before
hey guys,
I know that he has an upcoming schedule, a busy schedule coming up here. Like I mentioned here before we went on the air, he will have one of his fighters active on June 7th and on Pro Box.
Yes, Justin Paldo.
Justin Paldo, right? And we also have, of course, fighter there at 154 pounds, Andreas Katsarakis.
Yes.
This Friday night on the Zone.
Yes.
So look forward to seeing Andreas Katsarakis on Overtime Boxing on live on the Zone Friday night. So y'all look forward to all of that there. So
you know what? We need to get Andreas on as well as Justin for an episode of rapid fire Q&A. I would love to see how they answer.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
We could do that. We could
Let's
definitely
do that before they fight, man. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Let's do that soon.
Andres
Oh,
fights
guys.
Friday.
Yeah, Dress
Oh,
Fight
shoot.
Friday.
Well, let's
and
get it
but
done. Let's get it done.
Yeah, we could.
I'll tell you what, Ronnie. It wish me luck, guys, because not only am I going to be doing the call this weekend in San Antonio on KSAT 12, but I'm also going to be singing the Mexican national anthem for the very first time.
Oh, congratulations.
And Ronnie, that's
man.
not easy.
Well, I know it's not.
Yeah.
All right.
Wish me luck, guys. Wish me luck.
All right, Joe. All right, then, Joe. With that being said, I got one favor to ask you.
Yes, sir.
Once you're done singing the Mexican national anthem, you got to say one thing.
Oh, boy.
Viva Mexico!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
You know, that was more exciting than Canelo's entire fight. Yes, I agree.
Oh, man. So there we have it. That is it there at 1 hour and 30 minutes with the legendary Coach Ronnie Shields. At any parting
Best
shots,
90 minutes of the week.
Ronnie.
Yes, as always, man, you can follow me at official Ronnie Shields on Instagram.
That's right. So y'all be sure to follow Coach Ronnie Shields on Instagram. And we will be here once again next Tuesday for the next episode of Real Boxing with my great co-host, Joseph Herron of Warweek Boxing. This is the Boxing Source, and we will catch y'all later. Have a great evening, everybody.
The Boxing Source proudly presents Real Boxing with legendary fight trainer Ronnie Shields.